Well, hi, Ryan. Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah.
If you want to introduce
Fantastic.
yourself a little bit and tell us about what you do and where you work, all that good stuff.
Yeah. So I'm currently working in landscape architecture at a company downtown in Denver called Ford Copeland Mott. They specialize in educational design along the lines of designing universities, or designing certain buildings, as well as Stargate. And a part of that makes my company a little bit more distinct than the typical landscape architecture firm, for what you would call a multidisciplinary firm. So we have landscape architects, an interior designer. We even have a sustainability team here, which kind of guides all of our designs in-house as compared to having 3 independent firms. So when we work on one building, we come at it from all different sides.
Cool. What's your favorite part about what you do?
So I've been working for about 5 to 6 years in the profession. I've worked on a wide scale of projects from neighborhood development, community design, so designing neighborhoods, urban design, designing streets and plazas and parks where people inhabit, where they go shopping and things like that. And those were typically set with a landscape architecture firm solely. So we would work out of office with architects and other people. The one thing I really like about the potential with this firm and this team is I sit right next to an interior designer, I sit right next to an architect. And so our conversations are not from people who are from our common perspective. It's typically with people who have a very different perspective. They see the project in a different light, and that challenges me to think about the project in a different light and advance it in a different way. In the same way, a person looking at the site for the first time would look at, I guess, in the same way that I look at a site and I see how people are walking through the site, connecting with the site, what makes it comfortable for people outside of the building. The architects are looking at where's the building, what are the walls, how large are the certain rooms, how many people are within the building, how you accommodate that. Interior designers may look at what makes a certain room, how you make restful or engaging places. And the truth is, my perspective is describing all these different roles as a landscape architect. But I could be completely wrong about what architects see their role as. In the same way, they may be completely different on what they think I do.
Sure.
A lot of the time, people think I actually plant shrubs in front of people's houses, and there's still architects who believe that that's what I do still. So it's still a conversation. You can't get mad whenever somebody thinks they have a different perspective, but you have to learn to communicate. I think the one thing about a designer of all 3 disciplines needs to have is the ability to most important skills to have.
Cool. Well, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
So the students have been asked to design this outdoor space, and one of the big things right now, and you said your firm has a whole sustainability, I guess, department almost, or aspect to it. Can you tell us a little bit about what sustainability means to your firm and how we can kind of incorporate some of those things, or what we should be thinking about when we hear sustainable?
Yeah. Sustainability is a term that a lot of people use nowadays. People could say a green building is one thing, and it's funny how often some people even think that a green building is just a green building, literally painted green. Mm-hmm. So just because it's sustainable doesn't necessarily mean it composts everything that it has, or it has solar panels covering the entire building. or it technically it has like a farm on site for people to use. That doesn't necessarily make something sustainable. One of the terms that we tend to use in the profession is resilience. So what can stand the test of time, what can endure, and what will almost work with the fabric of the existing community and the existing ecosystems that are already in place. Because whatever is already existing is probably the most sustainable thing. So how do we work with those elements? Some of the pieces that we consider with that are the, as you would guess, ecosystem. So what is the climate? What's the water use? So in my profession, we have to work with plants. So we're not going to be having a tropical poolside garden here. We're going to be having something a bit more arid, something that works with the prairie. In regards to building materials, you have to think of sustainability in construction. So are you sourcing materials that are local, in which you would have to probably pay much less shipped from a local rock yard or shipped from a nearby timber yard, versus are you getting something all the way from New York, which it requires carbon energy transport across the nation so that you can build your vent, or you can build certain elements. Another element of sustainability is that you would work with a natural ecosystem. We already mentioned that, but the local flora and fauna. So in my job, I have to be very sensitive to what populations already exist, but also of animals. Sometimes even cities are put very strict development on places that have endangered species. There was a barn owl that was living on an old site of mine, which from that point we had to set up certain parameters that we wouldn't put their living. In regards to other things that would make a site resilient, you have to think about how people are going to engage the site. It's not worth much of anything if people can't access the site. So part of that you would be able to say it needs to be handicap accessible. It needs to be ADA accessible. The American Disabilities Association. And so that means everybody should be able to engage the site in a respectful manner, just to necessarily limiting people. Another way you can do that is make sure that the site feels inviting or welcoming, because more people feel that they want to engage, they want to even own the site, that they're proud of having the site, that they'll want to take care of it. In the same way that people take care of their yard, public spaces and parks and plazas can be considered our own homes, which makes us want to participate in them and own them. It's almost as if what would it feel like to be proud of your school? And what would it take for you to actually have places that made you feel proud, that you wanted to tell other people about, that you had this great thing on your site?
Cool, that's great. Gives us a lot to think about. So as we begin the students just got the challenge to design the building today, and so as they start to begin through that process of designing this unique space and trying to come up with creative ways to engage the user and ways to keep things low budget and sustainable, what kind of design process might you follow, or do you use? Is there something that we can kind of use to guide our thinking and keep us thinking about all the different angles of our space?
Yeah. I'm actually going to pause it really quick, Nicole.
Okay.
Because my free recording limit.
Oh no.
Stopped in I guess you only get 10 minutes. But what's nice is I can take that piece, I can download it right now,